Shut it.
Tuning your human biofeel. Come on, tell me how you feel. Tuning your
Stop there.
human. Okay, sorry. Spirit said this is
Mischief.
serious. I gotcha. Holy Divine Spirit, any mischievous energy trying to interrupt the reading or cause any
Englishman.
distractions, I ask you to cast them out immediately in the name of Jesus. Little 4032 herdy 432e herdy action. 432 hertz for your attunement, setting the field. Hello, collective. My name is Patience. I am your favorite psychic spirit medium, host of Spirit News on Spotify, a podcast where we are given spirit nuggets of knowledge and wisdom from our very own spirit team, the Guild of the Golden Triangle. Thank you so much, Guild of the Golden Triangle. I love you so much. Mish, Mirabelle, and Mantis. We love you so much. We are so excited to be here. We have the most fun connecting with you in this magical, unique way, co creating in the universe as a master manifestor. Heck yeah! It's so much fun, and we are so happy to be here. We want you to know that you're special. You have your own unique talent. God or source or creator, whatever you want to call it, has given you a special talent that only you can do. And it is your job to remember that you have it. We actually had a transmission once in a meditation where I was shown that in other parts of the universe on a more galactic scale with societies of a higher
3.
spirit said three of a higher consciousness than ours, a more advanced race basically, they have societies out beyond in the universe where when you're born you have an energy signature, which we do here as well, but that society honors the energy signature because they know that we're first and foremost energy, that we're frequency and vibration, and that you have a signature that is special to you, and that signature will be comprised kind of like a song, or like a song is has a specific message and a tone and a tune, and it has a hook, and it's going to give a special feeling for whatever it's trying to convey. That's kind of like you are that, and the society will tap into that energy signature and actually find out what your talent is and put you, not put you, but cultivate that within you. So when you're, as you grow, you know that as the years go on, you're cultivating your gift so you can be of service to the society, because in service to the one, in service to the all, what we're learning here at Spirit News is that it's not about survival. It's about, and it's about coexisting, and it's about sharing and community and helping each other and being compassionate. It's not a dog eat dog world. That's just what the old energy was, but now we're going out of a dark age, we're going into a golden age, because earth has cycles that are relegated to how much sun, or how close we are to the sun, and how much sun is hitting the
Prefer.
earth at any given time. And so, and Spirit said prefer. Of course, it would be awesome to have every age have a level of self mastery and enlightenment, but it doesn't happen overnight. It happens in cycles, and we go to a dark age, a bronze. The end is a dark. We're going out of a dark age. I'm sorry, and we're going into a golden age, which is the age of Aquarius. And in the age of Aquarius, in a golden age, we are more in tune with our heart chakra. We activate our heart chakra, and we become more compassionate. We become more psychic. We become more empathic to each other, and we operate more from our emotional side, where we are connected with everything. We realize our connection with everything, and we're not separate. And in the time we were in before, we talk about this. It's called the time jump on our podcast, Spirit News. We talk about the time jump. It was a specific little energy shift that
Agree.
happened. Agree. Spirit said agree. It was an energy shift that happened last year, that we documented, that was a major pivotal like time jump. And if you felt the time jump, you should go listen to it. If you feel like you might be having effects of the time jump, we discuss that in length over there. But here we're using the energy to help us cultivate and develop our psychic abilities. We're a child psychic. We were born this way. We cannot help the way we were born. We believe that everybody is psychic to a certain degree and level. And some of us have a thinner veil just to help be teachers of those who need to activate their abilities within themselves. And so my gifts were activated after years of repressing them 4 or 5 years ago, and I decided to stop ignoring the fact that I am guided, that I do have divine guidance. I always have. I've always been able to know people's intentions and feelings, and sometimes even thoughts, and but I will never read your thoughts without your permission. I don't do that. I do not do that. So we decided through the spontaneous activation that happened to follow my spirit guide's guidance and to cultivate
Yes.
and to develop this gift that I was born with, because that's who I am. That's who I am first and foremost. That's who I've always been. It's something that I repress, and we hope that, and by doing so, that, hola, thank you for being here, Roman. And we hope that by doing it, by showing you how we're doing it, not to do it like us, but to show you that it's being done, that it activates within you that spiritual, energetic part of yourself, and to remembering who you really are. Because we are not human. We are energetic beings, non physicalness, having a human experience. We thought it would be fun to, in theory, to come to Earth School for many multi-dimensional reasons, to live out a limited experience, because we wanted to see
Right.
how quickly we could remember who we are, and how quickly we could remember that we can create anything, that we are master co-creators of the universe, and that you create your own reality through your thoughts, and thoughts turn to things. So we have discovered that we are on our road of self mastery, and we have documented all of that on TikTok. And we would love to have you follow us if you want to follow any of our socials or listen to our music. And I'm not saying that I'm here to be a music artist, but we do it for fun. We do lots of things for fun, because you can do anything you want if it's fun for you and it's not hurting anybody. But we have all of those in the link through in the description bar, through the link tree. Hit that like, comment, share, subscribe. We would love to have your support so more people can see the channel, find the channel. If you are resonating with this message, we are so grateful for you to be here at this time. And we're going to do another read. So this reading, I remember when this happened. So we just want to remember that energy is fluid. It can be past, present, or future. I'm going to try to develop the ability to focus on a specific energy. Um, and that's part of the development that I'm being guided to do. So this message, I want to try to focus on Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit was a wrestler in the early 2000s. And I remember specifically when he transitioned. Now, I don't remember completely all the details, and I kind of want to keep it that way so I don't lead myself. Oh
Probably
my gosh,
not.
that's so good. My spirit says I wouldn't be leading myself. I'm just going to read a couple questions or a couple things about him. But he's from Montreal, Canada. He was born May 21st, 1967. He transitioned June 24th, 2007. Oh, interesting. What did I do with my little paper? We had Chester Bennington yesterday, And he was born in 1976. And Chris Benoit was born in 1967. And Chester Bennington died in 2017. And Chris Benoit passed in 2007. At 40, and Chester Bennington was 41. Those were very strange coincidences. I'm going to write that down. So Chester is born in 1976. Chris Benoit was born in 1967. Playable. It's a playable clue. Confirmation. We're picking up some weird numerical pattern here. 4, 5, 6. May is the 5th. May, April, January, February, March, April, May, June. Okay. And Chester passed in 2017. Chris passed in 2007. That's 4 sevens. 4 sevens.
Cynthia.
And his spouse, Nancy Benoit, passed as well. And Martina Benoit must have been his first spouse, who passed in 1997. Another freaking 7. Martina Benoit died pretty young. Wait. Oh, he was married to her from 1988 to 1997. Okay, gotcha. I was like, pretty young. So they were married from 88 to 97. That's Martina. That's his first wife. Okay. His children are David, Daniel, and Megan. Oh my gosh, and Nancy is his wife. I've been getting all of these names. Come through, Spirit. Nicknames: the best damned technical wrestler in the world. He was a professional wrestler. He worked for various pro wrestling promotions during his 22-year career and became notorious for taking the life of his wife and son. Okay, so we're going to find out why. Christopher Benoit, thank you so much. Holy Divine Spirit, I am so grateful for the messages. I am so grateful to be here in this vessel, co-creating with you, being a messenger. I love you so much. I am so grateful for all I have, and I have everything I need right now, and everything works out for me, and I'm so blessed. Please connect me with Christopher Benoit if he is in a place of healing and he matches Holy Divine Spirit. I would love to connect with him to ask about his human experience. Shadow. Chester Bennington was in his shadow too. We're going to say a little prayer to start us off. I did find a prayer and I pulled a card, brain, so Spirit says, smart move. The judgment of God, Revelations 11:17-18. We praise you, the Lord God Almighty, who is and who was. You have assumed your great power. You have begun your reign. The nations have raged in anger. But then came your day of wrath. And the moment to judge the dead. Oh, my nose is itching. I feel a sneeze. Spirit sneezes. But then came your day of wrath, and the moment to judge the dead, the time to reward your servants, the prophets, and the holy ones who revere you, the great and the small alike. Now have salvation and power come, the reign of our God and the authority of his anointed one. For the accuser of our brothers is cast out, who night and day accused them before God. They defeated him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. Love for life did not deter them from death. So rejoice, you heavens, and you that dwell therein. See what love the Father has bestowed on us. This is John.
She is here.
Thank you, Spirit. This is John 3 1 through 8. See what love the Father has bestowed on us, that we may be called the children of God. Yet so we are.
Vincent.
The reason the world does not know us is that it did not know him. Beloved, we are God's children now. Beloved, we are God's children now. What we shall be has not yet been revealed. We do not know that when it is revealed, we shall be like him. We do know that when it's revealed, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. Everyone who has this hope based on him makes himself pure as he is pure. Everyone who commits sin commits lawlessness, for sin is lawlessness. You know that he was revealed to take away sins, and in him there is no sin. No one who remains in him sins. No one who sins has seen him or known him. Children, let no one deceive you. The person who acts in righteousness is righteous, just as he is righteous. Whoever sins belongs to the devil, because the devil has sinned from the beginning. Indeed, the Son of God was revealed to destroy the works of the devil.
Emma.
Emma, Cynthia, Aria, Vincent, Jonathan, Chelsea, Gavin. It says, the person who acts in righteousness is righteous, just as he is righteous. Whoever sins belongs to the devil, because the devil has sinned from the beginning. I don't know if this is a PSA before the reading or if this is going to pertain to Chris Benoit, but we've talked about this before, that as we're developing our gift of discernment, which is an intuitive ability of your, hey everybody, hello, thank you for being here. Hello, Scovie. Thank you for being here. We've talked about this before briefly, and what we're learning, or what Spirit is teaching us, is people are showing you who they are all the time by their actions, because energy never lies. Like for an example, we used this as an example in the reading the other day. If you have a friend who's constantly gossiping about everyone else to you, that is indeed a sign that they have sinned from the beginning. And sin is just, it sounds like this crazy word, but it's really, it's, Spirit said, Keith, it's really just something you do that's immoral, that can hurt your own energy field, and that can alter somebody, a manipulation, okay? The Ten Commandments are being brought up again, because lawlessness, without the commandments, there's lawlessness. We learned that in a reading the other day. So if someone's showing you by their actions that they do things against their neighbors, they covet their neighbors, they gossip, they commit adultery, things like that, they have showed you from the beginning that that's the energy they run in. They run in devil energy, okay? And that just means that they have unhealed wounds that allow them to act in low acts, that do not concern themselves with with their actions and how it affects other people, okay? But if the person who acts righteous and righteousness is righteous. If you meet somebody who refuses to gossip with you, who questions your morality, like, oh, I don't know if you should do that, or I don't know if it's wise for you to
Gluttony.
be, I don't, spiritually gluttony, that doesn't want to be gluttonous in any actions that are harmful to themselves or others, take that as a sign that that person is walking in righteousness, that their actions are showing you that they are righteous. They're not liars. They don't covet. They're self-loving. They don't want to gossip. They have respect for others. So I'm not sure if that's a PSA or if that's just going to come up in the reading, but that's something that is sticking out to me. Okay. And then another thing that stuck out to me was raged in anger and
Abigail.
day of wrath. Abigail again. I'm going to write that down. I have been getting Abigail and Patrick for like weeks now, and it was a toss up between doing a reading for whoever these people are that spirit keeps wanting to bring through, or for Chris Benoit. And I chose Chris Benoit today, so maybe tomorrow we'll do Patrick and Abigail. Okay. If there's someone out there that needs a message from somebody named Patrick or Abigail, let me know, because they keep coming through.
The number 9.
Okay. So I'm going to write down anger and wrath. Those are things that are really sticking out to me. And judge the dead. Judge the dead. Okay. Okay. All right, Holy Divine Spirit, please. What should we do? You want to do some word tiles? Oh, my chair's so squeaky. Let's do some word bag. Okay. Chris Benoit, thank you so much for being here. Please, we would love to have you in our energy to learn about your human experience from your perspective. Please tell us what happened. We would love your nurturing love and support to help us learn from your human experience. Thank you so much. Oh, green. Glamorous. Glamorous. Bouncy.
Tick.
Green. I swear it's a tick. Tick, tick, boom. Hollywood. Witty. Candy, fierce, money, jello. Tofu, Angelina Jolie, crunchy, crunchy country. Crunchy country, country, crunchy, crunchy country. That's weird to say. Scaly, furry upside down, which don't wrestlers have to shave their hair or something? Hey, what happened to my Chris Benoit? There we go. He's pretty hairless. Furry upside down. That's funny. Scaly. Straight. Straight. And I have brains. I pulled the card brains before we started. Something with his heart chakra, because I have green here. Glamorous, bouncy green, hairless, scaly, straight.
6.
6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have
Protect.
Holy Divine Spirit, please protect me from any negative energy that does not want me to connect with Chris Benoit this time. Archangel Michael, please protect us from any harm or danger that may come to us physically, mentally, spiritually, or emotionally, from anyone or anything or anybody. No weapons formed against us shall prosper. Thank you so much. So, Chris Benoit was witty. He was witty. He wanted to be in Hollywood. He may have had, he may have loved snacks. I have scaly and scratchy. I don't know if he had some kind of skin concern, like maybe he had eczema or maybe he had some kind of psoriasis or something like that. But he liked, I have chips and jello. So he definitely liked snacks. He was funny. He was a very funny person. He wanted to go into Hollywood to live a glamorous life. Confirmation with a light flicker. Scaly. I have scaly. FBI. As I said scaly, I got a confirmation from the FBI. Okay. Brains, it's all in your head. It's all in your head.
Male good.
Male good. Yeah, this Chris Benoit he had a really big heart. He was very funny and witty. He wanted to live a he he may have been a prisoner of his own mind though. I also have candy here. Fierce candy. He may have had some kind of addiction to something that may have altered his brain chemistry or something. Confirmation. Something he had a fierce addiction to may have altered his brain chemistry in some way. Or his energy. I don't know yet. We'll find out. Okay. Thank you so much. What should we do? Should we do a box? Let's do the dream decoder. Let's do the dream decoder. Hey, nobody. Hi, Harry. Hi, Harry. Spirit says Harry all the time. Hi, Harry. Traveling. Austin. Traveling by plane. Flight has always been one of the greatest dreams of the human race, to move through the air like birds. The speed and ease with which we can now move over the face of the planet has changed our perception of the world forever. Air represents your aspirations and wishes, so flying symbolizes your attempts to fulfill them.
Certain.
Okay, I was just thinking, didn't he do like crazy tricks and stuff off the top of the ropes or something? Because this says the best damn technical wrestler in the world. I'm not sure. You tell me. I purposely didn't want to look up too much about Chris Benoit so I could read the energy. But what I'm getting is that Chris Benoit had a dream to move through the air like a bird, to be able to have speed and ease, and to change the planet by doing his dream forever. He had dreams and aspirations and wishes to fulfill, and he made many attempts to fulfill them. He had ambition and the desire to rise above the problems in his life, and he may have left a lot of things behind to pursue his dreams. And his ability to rise in his chosen profession, even though he didn't know what was going to happen, had him flying high. He started as the pilot when he began flying, fulfilling his dream, and he became a passenger on a plane. He became a passenger.
Body.
Body. He became a passenger. Well, becoming a passenger would imply that he thought he was in control, or he started as being in control and then something happened to where he became the passenger of his career. He became the passenger of a plane of significance that was of a large commercial airliner. That's a metaphor. So whatever he was doing, well, he was a big wrestler in WWE. So maybe he became the passenger of the world wrestling entertainment industry. And he trusted them morbid, and he trusted, Spirit said morbid, and he trusted them with his life. Started to become a fighter jet defending himself from attacks of attacks from smaller planes carrying cargo, trying to take him down out of flight. So some kind of competition? Living his dream made him reflect a small plane. He became a fighter jet defending his own country, himself, from attacks of another, of smaller planes carrying cargo, spotting fires, and taking people with them. So someone who starts fires in barroom, someone who's dramatic, or people who are in a competitive survival mode that maybe saw his rise to fame as a problem because they wanted to be in the same boat as him, in the same chosen profession. They wanted their abilities to be noticed. So he may have been on the attack by others. He started to reflect about his responsibilities and felt that he was ensuring other people's dreams at work instead of at home. He was always busy defending his ideas at the workplace. So what I'm getting is that he may have been in some kind of competition where he was constantly fighting off attacks and defending his ideas and having to put a lot of energy into the workplace to be able to stay at the level of ability or significance at the workplace, because he always had some smaller, and I know in WWE when I was younger and I'd be watching it with my friends across the street who were all boys and they were crazy about it, and they would have like wrestling matches, and we'd watch it like every Friday, Thursday or Friday, I don't remember.
Sorry.
But what I remember is that there was always somebody new, there's always somebody new, and there was always new meat, So maybe in this world, and this is for entertainment purposes only, I don't know if this is true, I'm just reading the energy. In this wrestling
Recreation.
in this wrestling world, there's no time for recreation. It's a dog eat dog world. There's constantly new meat being brought in. You have to stay on top of your game with your body, with your ideas, you have to be constantly defending yourself and pivoting attacks from others, because there's always somebody trying to take your place, is what I'm getting. So it really took away from him, from his home life. Had a lot of responsibilities, and he wanted to ensure that he probably took some of these smaller wrestlers that were just starting under his wing, because traveling by plane, under his wing, to kind of help support them. And it took away from him and his responsibilities at home, ensuring other people's dreams are fulfilled at work, it says. So he wasn't really doing a lot of self-care, even though because he has a big heart. Maybe he gave to someone very easily, or a few people. It says airline crew right here. So it could have been a crew of people that he would support, or that he found himself connected to. He thought that these people supported him. He thought that he could trust these people. He thought that these people supported their progress towards their goals. they may have worked on a lot of projects together, that he thought were beneficial, but they actually took away from his own goals. Are you happy with the situation? If not, is there anything you can do to change it? And then it has airport. Internet. Dreams of waiting for or boarding planes at airports can have similar meanings to harbors, except they apply to your more professional or spiritual aspirations than your physical or emotional ambitions. Huh. He may have wanted to focus more on professional or spiritual aspirations. His dream job was very uncommon, and he wanted to start a new project for a new phase in his life. But the plane was delayed. He considered he quit. It was delayed because he quit. He may have wanted to quit the WWE because of an underlying fear. He may have wanted to quit because he was always under attack and he was always defending himself and his ideas. Even though he was trying to help people, these people may have turned against him, this airline crew. This is a metaphor, by the way. This crew of people that he may have taken under his wing because he has a big heart and he wanted to help people, but these people just wanted to take from him. They thought that he thought he could trust them, but they just wanted to take from him. They were just using him. It came to a point where he got tired and he was reflecting about all his responsibilities and how he's ensuring other people's dreams are fulfilled at work. And he's so busy defending all his ideas in the workplace that he was lacking and having problems and difficulties in achieving his objectives outside of work with his home life. So he wanted to quit. Spirit said quit. He wanted to quit. And he wanted to change course, and possibly wanted to change professions to maybe do, it says Hollywood, so maybe do movies or do more like acting and stuff. And it says professional or spiritual aspirations. So why didn't he get, so what's the number 4? There could have been, let me write that down. There could have been 4 people specifically that, oh, look, lamb. And in that prayer, it talked about lamb, giving the lamb up to the devil or something. Lambs generally symbolize spring and young playfulness, laughter, loving side, joy, new beginnings, loving side of your nature, sacrificial lamb. What? Chris Benoit may have been a sacrificial lamb whose blood was spilled on behalf of the flock of believers.
Judy.
And look, I wrote down anger and wrath, and this says anger. What does this reveal about your religious learnings? What? So I don't know in what capacity he was sacrificed. It doesn't have to be like a ritual. Sacrifice can be like he was made an example of. You know, the WWE could have made an example of him, and how, you know, you don't leave. Nobody leaves unless I say they leave. They can leave. You can't go to Hollywood. I made you who you are. I'll show you who's boss. You know, kind of like that energy. You know, so it could have it could have really hurt Chris Benoit, and knowing that, you know, he helped make the WWE in that time. He made it exciting. He was a very good entertainer. He's the best damn technical wrestler in the world. But he may have been sacrificed in some way on behalf of a flock of believers, because this is a power dynamic. If this workhorse who brings in all this money walks away because they're being, what did that say before? It said they're being attacked, and he always had to defend 44 on the clock. He always had to defend his ideas, and he just felt like it was a very toxic environment. Okay. And so he was sacrificed, because if he leaves, then that shows other people that they can leave, and you don't leave WWE unless I let you leave, or whatever powers that run WWE. It kind of feels like that. Oh, you want to leave? Oh, I'll show you. You don't leave until I say you can leave. So there was some kind of problems that he was anticipating that came from a team at work that was important to him at one time, and he ended up running away because he felt that there were opportunities that were approaching him, that he needed to grab onto them and hold on tight. He felt like he had to run away. He was carrying a heavy load, and he was expected to perform a certain, this seems like some kind of like abusive work relationship, you know? Stubbornness and pride is an issue, and there's a refusal to compromise, because he had other dreams that he wanted to fulfill. Haunt room. He was a powerhouse, powerful, resolute, intelligent, and he was a humanitarian, and he had goods that people wanted to deliver. They wanted him to deliver goods to people because he has a big heart, and he wanted to go into Hollywood because he's witty and he's very entertaining. So he wanted to leave, but he was made a sacrificial lamb by those who are part of this conglomerate that wanted to make an example out of him for those who want to leave without permission, you know? So they may have made it hard for him to get jobs. They may have blacklisted him. They may have made him someone that no one wanted to have association with. And this really made him angry. This really invoked a lot of sadness in him. It made him plump. Oh, it may have made him gain weight as well. So just said plump. And he started acting irresponsibly. He may have depended on substances or some kind of substance to cope with the circumstances that he was being compromised with. That's fucked up. God forbid that someone wants to go better themselves, that they can't. I mean, isn't it like an exchange of energy? If I'm working for the WWE and I'm an entertainer, I'm very grateful to have had this stepping stone and I accomplished this dream, but how long do I have to be pushed and abused to work like a workhorse? You know, it's a lot of energy and time and physical labor that's going on into doing all these wrestling moves and falling off the top and going on the ropes and being hit with the chairs and the razor blades to the forehead. Like, it's a lot. And he wanted to move on and do something that was less dangerous because he has a family now. And so he was trying to reflect about his
The number 5.
responsibilities, and he realized that he has a family,
Elemental.
and he was probably elemental, and
Look at me.
he was getting opportunities to go into Hollywood, and then he was blacklisted, you know?
The number 6.
Here we go. There we go. So that's really sad. So what happened? Where do we go next? Where do we go next? Let me think. We'll do our Alice cards. I'm being drawn to Alice. So Chris, okay, so they didn't want you to go, but how did they sacrifice you? Like, in what way? They clearly made him an example that just by blackballing him and creating this energy of, nobody wants to work with him. That kind of like ruined him.
Nope.
Spirit said it didn't ruin him, he just thought it did. Clock time, pressure, in a rush. Clock time, pressure, in a rush. He may have done something impulsively, or something was done impulsively. Something was done that had him feeling like he was under pressure, like he had to do it quickly. Something. What is this clock pressure? He had a choice. There was some kind of choice he was given, possibly by this group of people that he worked with, to unblock himself from being restrained. He felt like he was in a pressure cooker. He felt like he was falling into the unknown. That the momentum that he was descending in was causing him to be blocked. It was some kind of choice he was faced with that made him feel like he was falling, that was blocking his moment to wake up, like he was in some kind of nightmare. Something that he wanted to end, something that was repetitive that he wanted it to end, some kind of loop or cycle, because he couldn't trust himself. He didn't know what was best for himself, this choice he had to make. There's some kind of choice he had to make that felt, please go, that felt like he was being torn by two sides, like something that he really wanted versus something that two things that he wants that he can't choose between. Agree. So he was uncertain, but he was under a time limit to choose between these two things. One thing would unblock him and unrestrain him from opportunities for a glamorous life in Hollywood, and the other thing would have him falling into the unknown descent with a momentum. He couldn't trust his own intuition and be a leader and show others how it's done. He fell into some kind of trap that played on his aspirations and his dreams, some kind of nightmare that he couldn't wake up from. I wonder what will happen next, because he didn't know what was going to happen next. Just like in the prayer, it said, it's not for us to know what will happen next, but for us to walk with God, and no matter what happens. There was something, this says he didn't think, he took some kind of action under pressure that
Grace.
that was impulsive, that he didn't think about. This says pause before action in reverse. He didn't pause before he did it. It was like he was not controlling his own body. What? It's like he wasn't controlling his own body. Stating your sovereignty, sovereignty. I can't sovereignty. Yeah, he wasn't in control of his own body. He didn't have guacamole. Spirit just said guacamole. Holy guacamole. I have 33. Huh. Tell us more. So, why wasn't he in control of his own? Prophylactic. Isn't that a condom? Prophylactic. Spirit said guacamole prophylactic. Did he get somebody pregnant? I don't know. He wasn't protected. He wasn't protected. He observed that he knew that he had a bad omen. He had one large, distinct bad omen that outweighed several smaller, blurred omens. Good and bad should be balanced against each other. That's the choice he had to make. There's some kind of choice here that was like literally a battle between good and evil. Something that he felt the pressure of to do that was a bad omen. Punctual. And he was on time, punctual. And I have clock time right here. Something he did without thinking, in a rush, because he was told that it would determine the forecast of his balance by doing this. Preparing your cup. Just before you finish, leave around half a teaspoon of the beverage remaining. He took the cup by its handle. He tried to handle something with his left hand. He thought it would face him upwards, but it quickly swirled him down 3 times where he was. Took him down 3 levels from where he was. Very slowly, he started to reflect over and over again how he could allow himself to remain. Oh, shit. Courage. A need for bravery. So it just said courage. And this says a need for bravery. We're doing psychic development with Chris Benoit. I'm trying to find out. I'm a spirit medium. I'm trying to find out what happened to him. Spirit said courage, and I just pulled this T card that says a need for bravery. Rabbit, rainbow, raindrop, teardrop, rat. He had bottled up emotions, and he trusted someone or something to give him prosperity and good fortune. He was a very gentle soul that had a curve in his heart, and he instead of having bravery, he let a bad omen outweigh a good omen. He didn't trust that by doing a the good choice that he would get what he wanted, which was to be in Hollywood. So he chose the bad omen because it promised him prosperity and good fortune. But when he realized and reflected, he slowly and carefully came to turn the saucer over and realized that he couldn't allow himself to remain anymore. He had to drain away because he was in regret for what he did. And we got in the dream book sacrificial lamb.
Died in this area.
I told you. Hugs in the thumb. He was reluctant to take the lead. He didn't stand up for himself or defend others. He was very much in his thoughts. Oh, so this is what happened in a nutshell, okay? And then we'll close it up. So there's some kind of group he befriended at his work, which is the conglomerate, the huge conglomerate that he was employed at, if you know what I mean. And it became a toxic work environment, and he decided that he had other responsibilities, that he didn't want to keep doing all of the wrestling, and it takes a toll on your body and your mind. And he had a family now, and he wanted to focus more on going into Hollywood. He may have had offers to be in movies and shows and all that. But this company he worked for, yes, thank you, Spirit. This company he worked for didn't want him to leave because he was a cash cow. People love Christopher Benoit. He's the best damn technical wrestler in the world. And so this was some kind of power dynamic where he didn't want to, he was tired of defending himself all the time and being in a toxic work environment where he wasn't honored, he wasn't respected, he wasn't treated right. So he wanted to leave. Well, whoever this group was that he thought he could trust, that he thought was his friends, made him a sacrificial lamb and blacklisted him from doing any other work other than what he was doing. And so it made him an emotional wreck because he worked so hard to prepare his cup to get to where he was. And when he thought that the people he trusted, that he worked for, that he worked with, that he helped, boost the ratings for this thing, and he helped do all the stuff, that they would support him, they didn't. They made him a sacrificial lamb, an example that if you leave, this is what happens. And I don't know exactly how they did it. It says a bad omen, but in his emotional state from not getting any jobs and stressing out about, being forced out of the work that he did, he worked so hard to get to, he was confronted with some kind of choice he had to make. Now, I don't know who gave him the choice or why he felt. It says that he might not have been in control of his own body, so he could have been under the influence, or it says rats. Something or someone is not to be trusted. Someone could have given him something that could have possibly altered his brain, because I have this little caterpillar with the smoke. I'm not sure. But what happened is that energy, whatever that energy was that was giving him a choice, he was under pressure to make the decision in an altered state of mind. He wasn't himself. He wasn't in the right state of mind. Wake up. He couldn't wake up from some kind of nightmare that he was in. Everything artsy. Can you go woo woo? Amen. Thank you. I love you. So um he under this altered state, he was a sacrificial lamb. The choices were between a good omen and a bad omen. Spirit said battery. He was under some kind of power. He was under some kind of power or something. He had a choice between a good omen or a bad omen. He had to choose. But see, that's cheating. You can't give someone a choice when they're not in their right mind to make the choice. That's not fair. That's cheating. That's altering. That's energy manipulation. So one of the choices was do this, and you'll attain prosperity and good fortune. He did it quickly. He did it quickly in a rush because he thought that he had to do it. But as soon as he did it,
Austin,
he was in complete regret. And he knew that he couldn't remain any longer because he couldn't live with what he did, because he did something in a altered state of mind that he couldn't live with just to get good fortune. He was confronted with two choices. He could have did this bad omen and receive prosperity and good fortune, but then he loses something, and he lost something that he couldn't live with. Okay. The other option was the good option, was the good omen. But he would need to be brave to do that, because in order to have the good omen, you have to release emotions that are pent up, and you have to do a little more work. It requires a little more hard work on his part. Message. He wasn't confident enough to believe in himself that he could set out the goals and achieve them and strive for growth and abundance. He wasn't confident that choosing the good path would get him to what he wanted. This is a classic case of how you feel not matching up with what you want. This is a classic case of that. And what I mean by that is Chris Benoit had aspirations, desires to go into Hollywood. He didn't want to do wrestling anymore, which is fine. That's awesome. But where this energy put him at was in fear of not being able to have that. But that's what he wanted so bad. But just because that's what you want doesn't mean that that's what your soul's path is. So he should have done a reassessment to reflect. He failed to do a reassessment to reflect if that is what his soul actually wanted, or if that's what his mind wanted, if it was what his heart wanted or what his mind wanted. He wanted to be prosperous and have good fortune and live a glamorous Hollywood life, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's what his soul's purpose was. He had to reassess what he wanted, because what he wanted didn't feel good. He just wanted it for the outside validation that it would have given him. That doesn't mean that that's what he should have kept going for. So because he was blackballed from all of the ways he could have became this Hollywood star from wrestling, it put fear in him, and he was not in a confident state to have bravery to go towards what he desired, because he feared not having any opportunities. Instead of reassessing and saying, well, clearly the universe is not matching my vibration with doing this, what else could I do that would feel good to me? He was so focused on, it has to be this one way. I've worked so hard to get to here. That's what I'm learning about manifestation and matching up with your soul's path. You have to reassess where you're at all the time to understand if you're walking in your path. Your soul comes here with a specific thing it wants to do, and it can change. Sure, it can change at any time, but what happens is what we desire in our mind ends up becoming our main focus. And sometimes we want things that aren't meant for us, or we focus on getting something so specific that isn't meant for us, that all these things that are telling us, no, that's not for you, we don't listen to. And so we push ourselves to force a circle into, or a square into a circle, or circle into a square peg. And that is detrimental to our happiness or finding alignment, because if it's not what is meant for you, will come easily. Chris Benoit was not meant to be in Hollywood to live a glamorous life, but if he really wanted that, then he should have matched the emotion to the desire. You can manifest what you want, but you will get it matching the emotional state you're in when you desire it. So, for example, a horrible thing happened to him. I'm not saying he manifested it, but he was in an energy of fear, and it may have been a culprit, or at least a dominant player in why it played out the way it did, and why it drew in external factors that made this scenario possible. Because he desired something to fulfill hate. He desired something to fulfill his need for validation. Okay? But he was in a place of fear and self-loathing and no confidence. And instead, and so what he desired came. He was on the front page of every news. He got into Hollywood, all right, as a Hollywood documentary on on the documentary channel. So he got into Hollywood, but he got into Hollywood in a state of fear because of what transpired and how it ended for him. If he really wanted to go into Hollywood, then he should have thought about all the ways that it would make him feel good emotionally to be in Hollywood, to be able to show kids how you can make it out of a small town, and how you can have, whatever makes you feel good about acting or being in front of a camera. I personally don't know what that would be. I don't want to be an actor. But if you do, then you should focus not on how it will make you popular, or how it's going to make everyone look at you and you get so much attention, but like the art of being a thespian, of getting into character, of making people laugh, of being an entertainer. Yeah, he was in a state of unpleasantness where he wouldn't be happy unless this happened. Okay. And then he also had, external forces that wanted to use him as a workhorse, and really, so he wasn't meant to be in wrestling either. I mean, if you're in a toxic work environment and you want to skip and hop jump to another lily pad, and that lily pad is being thwarted by external forces, that's a sign that you're not supposed to do that. If you keep meeting obstacle after obstacle and you just are going into this spiraling descent of, pain and suffering, then those are the things that are not meant for you, because what is meant for you will be easy. And sometimes what is meant for you doesn't require validation from the outside world, or to get recognized by the world. That's not validation. That's just you being stared at by a bunch of people and scrutinized. So you have to understand the reasons why you want something. That's so funny. Thank you, Spirit, because I was reading my healing journals in my phone, and one of the things I read last night was, know what you want and why you want it. Ask yourself, why do I want this? Why do I want to achieve this goal? If you can't really answer it, or you're not passionate about it, or it doesn't fill you up with excitement and curiosity, and you're just kind of like, oh, I don't know, because my mom did it, or because that's what my parents think I should do, or because I'll make a lot of money doing it, then those aren't really valid reasons for your soul to do something. Those are for your mind. Okay, so when we're going from the head to the heart, these are the transitions that we're going to have to make, and the new questions we're going to have to ask ourselves. Why do I want to be of service to others? Why do I feel so good why do I want to be in a career of helping others? This is my own question because it makes me feel good emotionally. When I help others, when I know that I've helped them discover something about themselves, to understand themselves, to redirect a negative thought they've had, to help them find alignment, that makes me feel good emotionally. I'm going to cry and that's how I know that I'm supposed to do it. And it'll be that way with anything that your soul is wanting you to do. It will feel good emotionally. You'll get that feeling in your heart that's full of joy and happiness, like looking at a beautiful flower or a beautiful sunset or, anything that brings joy to you. That's what you want to follow. Not if something that you're following brings you heartache and pain and you're always worried about the next job, and if, then that's not for you. What is meant for you will be easy. So, thank you so much, Chris Benoit. I am so grateful for the message. I am so sorry that this
Right.
led to the way it happened, but I appreciate you come too many to count. Yes, I appreciate you coming forward to help us understand what happened from your human experience, and I love you so much. I hope it helps.